ain't drunk. I'm just drinking. But you're so high. Oh man, you know I ain't high. But you're so high. Yeah, well I just take a little sip every now and then. But you're so high. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Oh, come on now, you all don't feel like that.
What's missing? Ha! Yoda. I was cleaning my bench and Yoda needed a bath, so he's getting a bath and he's outside drying, so it looks a little weird, doesn't it? I'm not even used to it myself. It is still me. So, one of the things I kind of have been putting off just because it's been so damn hot, and I really, really hate sanding fiberglass in 100-degree heat, so that's why I put this off. But we're going to pick up a little bit, do a little bit of the boat chop shop here today. So what we've got now, what's really funny is I completely fucked up. I was going to show you guys, this isn't like a how to rebuild a nitro boat. This is just a, hey guys, check this out. But I did the second video. There was a first video, which was the intro, and we tore it down and everything else. And the second video was supposed to be me showing you the tricks of fixing fiberglass and blah, blah, blah. Well, I did record the whole thing a month ago or so, and somewhere along the line, I fucking deleted it. So, yeah. So basically what I've done is I have fixed the hull damage. It's not done, but it's almost done, with the preliminary fiberglass coating. If you'll remember, this was completely split open, okay? Now, it looks kind of funky because I obviously sanded through the paint and whatever else, and we're going to put a secondary coat across it because they got a little bit of lump right there. But yeah, and then we're going to do a secondary sanding, and she'll be really sweet. And I had to fix this side too. This side had an issue. But what I ended up doing, this is an old trick, I drilled holes in the hull here and here, and I injected fiberglass. I built a tape dam, because this thing was split wide open. Literally, you could stick your finger in there, okay? So I built a masking tape dam over the horn here, drilled some holes, which we're going to fill later. And I literally injected fiberglass fluid, resin, sorry, and then let the boat sit like this for about 6 hours. And it basically filled this up. We peeled the tape off. We sand everything down. Bam. Beautiful. This thing can hit a seawall doing 100 miles an hour and be fine now. It is actually solid from here back now. On this one anyway. This one's pretty close, yeah, about right there back. Which gives us a little bit more bow weight, which is good because with these hydroplanes, they tend to... You really need the planing power, so that's okay. We did power wash the inside of both cavities here. We're going to put in 3D printed servo mounts here. The engine obviously goes back there. I'm going to, I did sand off the stickers, but notice the glue and the image is still here. So that was just a preliminary. I'm going to go over it with denatured alcohol probably and get that glue off. And then after I feather, you know, I'm going to put some more fiberglass on the ends. We'll feather that out with some 220 sandpaper, and this thing is going to be good as gold. Hopefully not any body work Lincoln David will have to do if he's still willing to paint it. I actually haven't talked to him for a while. So anyhow, bam. Yeah, that's really about it for the hull. So after I do the secondary coats here and finish the sand job, and we're going to scuff the whole thing up, so when Lincoln paints it, he can just paint it. He doesn't have to sand it. He doesn't scuff anything up. But I will show you, and I'll fill in these holes. I will show you guys what the semi-finished boat looks like, okay? Now, the next thing we're going to do is the nitro engine. Look at how foul this thing is. This thing is gross. So there's a couple ways to do this. This has a pull start on it, so I don't necessarily want to immerse it. I'm going to show you a trick that we did in the robot industry, if my old lady has any. One of the things that we used to do to clean welding grease or weld spatter and all the crap that comes from robotic welding is we would actually use scrub and bubbles. Foam spray is actually a mild degreaser. The shit works great. So I'm going to go find some. We're going to spray this off, and you're going to see how nasty this is. You're going to see how pretty it's going to turn out. We're going to take off the pipe. Bam, be right back. All right, so this trick is great. Anything that you do not want to submerge, which we don't want to necessarily submerge this guy, but you want to degrease it, but relatively non-caustically. The only reason I'm not submersing this is I don't want to have to fuck around with taking off the pull start, okay? But we are going to oil it up and all that stuff too. And I'm not going to do a complete teardown because I want to see how it runs as is. We can always fix it later. So all you do, spray this stuff on. Ooh, I'm going to do it over here. See, and it foams up like a degreaser, which it really is. Now, I know you guys can't see it, but that motor's all slimy, nasty, gooey. Bam! Look at that. So we're going to let that soak for about 10 minutes, come back, wipe it on. All right, let's see what we got. I made a roto twister too. I also threw in some some other boat parts that also needed degreased. Hang on, put this stuff away. All right, now our tuned pipe. Look at that, wiping right off. Bam. All right, our rudder mount looks good, and our motor. Look at that, wipes right off. Look at that. See the slime? That's lipo slime or nitro slime. Nitro slime's nasty. Watch. Comes right off. Cool. So, and our prop shaft. Get all the old grease off of it. Okay. Cool. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to go find some shop rags and I'm going to wipe this stuff down. Another thing we can do, hang on a second. We're going to do another shot of this, and we're going to use a toothbrush. Okay, an old toothbrush, or if you can find it. And I did spray that into the carbs. You guys are like, oh my god, you sprayed that into the carb. But we're going to get the heat sink nice and clean. All right, and this baby's going to look sharp. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Be back in a second. All right, and we're back. So here we go. Here's our transom mount for our rudder, just cleaned up. We'll go ahead and armor all that just to protect it from the sun a little bit. We cleaned our tuned pipe. Boom, boom, look at how pretty. I'll probably hit it with steel wool to give it some texture, and then we're gonna paint this with outdoor grill flat black paint, and that way it won't burn off, and it's gonna look really, really cool. Because that looks kind of, yeah, whatever. Drive shaft, got that cleaned up. We're going to steel wool this because we've got a little bit of corrosion right there. Not a big deal. We've got the shear pin in here. I'll tape that so I don't lose the damn thing. And then, creme de la creme, look at that. Woohoo! Very nice. Very, very clean. You can handle it without getting nasty now. Scrub and bubbles, awesome shit. So basically what I did, I took my junky old toothbrush, I used the tub that I sprayed the stuff in, put the toothbrush in it, I literally cleaned all this stuff and the years of old nitro shit off of it in like literally 2 minutes. Very simple. Now, since we're not going to be firing this up for a while, you should use my buddy, my nitro buddy out east, Rich. He and I talked about this, and he's like, well, use kerosene, use this, because I haven't been in the nitro game for a while. You should, after you run one of these dudes, run oil in them, or Marvel Mystery Oil, which is just a light 3-way oil. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to just put in some 3-in-1. It's pretty much the same thing, but what it's going to do when we first fire this thing up, it's going to smoke like the devil on fire. It's going to be nasty. So we're going to take out the glow plug. Wow, that was over torqued. Okay, I don't even know if this glow plug's any good, but looks nice, looks good. All right, and we're going to pull this down so it's not on top dead center. See it in there? Boom. Okay. Take a little bit of oil. Oop, a little bit. This is kind of fun because, like you guys have heard before, back in the old days when I was a kid, I used to be in RC boats, but when I was a kid, I was raised on a lake. My uncle, my cousin, old cousin, owned a marina, and I actually worked at the marina for a number of years, and I did apprentice boat mechanic stuff. I did all sorts of cool stuff, and this kind of brings back some fun memories. It's getting back into the boats and just good times, good times. So go ahead and put a little bit in here. Yes, I just put oil in the carb. But that's okay. It basically just means it's going to smoke like a motherfucker when I fire it up. Now we're going to pull. Here, lubed up. Nice. All right, so that, I believe, is it. So the next steps, I'm going to go ahead and tape this up so I don't lose the damn thing. The next steps in this process are I'm letting the boat dry out because I rinsed it with the hose after I sanded on it today. So the next step is going to be I'm going to do the secondary fiberglass job on the hull and get the glue off, sand it. Then we're going to throw some weight in it, and we're going to throw it in the kiddie pool and do a leak test on it. And we're going to let it soak in the pool for about 2 hours. We're going to cover up the rudder guide hole and the water out, and just let it sit. See if it gets, see if it leaks any. What else was I going to say about this? This boat came with it came with the whole RC system. And the receiver, I'm just not impressed. I'm actually probably just going to make this a Taranis on a stick because it should be a pistol grip because it's a boat, but it doesn't matter. And it came with 2 full-size motors, or servos, I'm sorry. So I'm going to actually put in a micro or a 9-gram for the throttle and a full-size for the rudder because we don't need that extra weight. We don't need the extra, huge, this throttle is nothing. It's takes nothing to do that. So we're gonna buy new servos for it, new wiring system, new everything, and then we are going to make it FPV as well. So anyway, kids, I'm going to do my damnedest to get this hull done, totally done, wrapped up, ready to rock and roll and shipped to Lincoln David by the end of the weekend. So shouldn't be too hard. The hard part's really over. Got to fill in those holes, damp it a little bit, finish the sand job. About 2 hours of work maybe, and we'll be good. So anyway, bam, till next time, keep shiny side up, kids. Bye.
Bam, JJ! Hope you like fishing. Bam, JJ! Hey, JJ! Hope you like fishing.